Hello everybody, this is D King Bay, your book granny here with the review for you. Oh yeah, today we have The Last Shield by Cameron Johnston. And I gotta say, this was a good one. I got it from Broken Bindings. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, it's no longer available on their site. But go ahead up there and look at the unboxing, because you might be able to get it used somewhere, and this is a good one. Plus you can also order from like Amazon or buy it at other bookstores too. You don't always have to get special editions. They still the same words, well, unless it's fairy loot, they don't put an extra chapter on there or something like that, but that's a whole nother story. Let's get back to The Last Shield. As always, this is a no spoiler zone, as in I don't do spoilers, okay? I'll tell you a little bit about the plot and all that sort of stuff, but we're not going to have any spoilers going on here because I don't want to spoil it for you. I want you to go read that book yourself. Then after you finish it, come on back and we can discuss it down in the comments. Just make sure you put spoiler first so that people, you don't want to spoil it for anybody else. We don't go around spoiling stuff, right? Okay, so let's get to this. This is a standalone. That alone made me happy because it's so hard to find a standalone nowadays. The genre is fantasy. Think of about it like back in the Regency times. Even though it's a different world, they have sorcery. They have some fae. They used to have dragons, even though they're not running around right now. Now I want to tell you that because when I saw that, I'm like, oh, wow, it's going to be dragons in it. I don't want you to be disappointed. So there aren't dragons running around in this, okay? The dragons have died out, okay? So there aren't dragons, but it's okay. It's still an amazing book. I will say that most of this book is inside the castle itself, so you don't get to explore much of the outside world, but those little bits of the outside world you did get, they were nice. It was real. I'm like, oh, he did that thing. So he did a really good job of it. Okay, I'll tell you, before I even tell you the plot, I'll tell you my one downside of the book was that we didn't get to go outside of the castle very often. But there's a reason for that, because all the stuff was happening inside the castle. So it made sense. It wasn't just crazy. The plot of it is, think of, well, I read this a lot. It's like Die Hard, but in a fantasy version of it. But I don't really like that, even though it did have some plot points of Die Hard. This is different. It's just a different thing. I mean, it's just different. Yes. In this plot, we have Briar, and she's the head of the Shields, and the Shields are the one who protect the royal family. Well, stuff happens, and the castle ends up under attack, and she ends up having to be the one to go out there and take care of business, right? Now that's like Die Hard, that part. So I already told you the one little thing I didn't like about the book was that we didn't go outside of the castle very much, but it is a self-contained story inside that castle. A lot's going on. You have Briar, and another character's point of view we see sometime is the princes, and you don't see him very much. He's only 14 years old, and he's a mess. I mean, oh my God, spoiled brat. But anyway, so you do have your different characters. You got from the old to the young. Now, one of the reasons I love Briar is she's coming to the end of her career, I guess you could say, because she's an older woman. It's about time to retire, because, I mean, these are warriors, fighting. She got to be able to protect the lands and this and that and the other. And at the time when the castle's being invaded, she's really going through it emotionally, saying, wow, I have to retire, because this being a warrior, she's been a warrior her whole life, and she's being told by the young bloods, you can't keep up anymore. You can't run like us. You're not as strong as us. You're not this, that, and the other. And it's true. She isn't as fast as them. She's not as strong as them. She's not all these sort of things. And, also she's handicapped. I mean, she's having a hard time dealing with, okay, now I got to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life. So this is what's happening when all hell breaks loose at the castle. Okay. And she's got to do her thing. And she's at that point in time, she's like, wow. But she has no choice. It's like, give up or fight. So she's a warrior by blood. So she goes in there and she does what she has to do to take care of business. Now, what I will say, because I don't give you any spoilers, from the very beginning of the book, the author is really good at explaining, okay, because there are women's shields, but a woman's just not physically as strong as a man. So he incorporated ways that the women do things to compensate for their less strength. So they're just as good as warriors as the men. They be kicking boo-boo. Okay, they are really, really good. Another thing I liked about the book is when they did the magic in it, they had like sorcerers and things like that. But even though it's a fantasy, it didn't take over the book. The plot of the book was the main focus. It's Briar's story, that she lives in this magical world, but it's still her story. Another thing that I liked was the fight scenes. Okay, yeah, I like a fight scene, right? But you don't have to go all Quentin Tarantino on me. You know what I'm saying? So the fight scenes just went far enough that you get a good feel for it. I don't need all the blood and gore. I don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? And this author went just far enough. Now, I'm going to say he didn't go as far as like a lot of romances. You know how everything happens behind closed door. You just assume whatever. You didn't have to assume anything. You know, they tell you what happened, but they didn't have to actually show you everything that happened. So I like that he found that really good little middle ground of showing just enough, you know, without taking it over into Goreville. So overall, I really like this book. I could keep on going on and about it, but it's really hard to do without giving spoilers. Yes, it does resemble Die Hard in a few ways, but it is so much more also. So go read it for what it is. Enjoy it. It's a short read. Let me see. It's a short read. It took like a weekend. It's really good. I mean, sometimes you just need, because you know I'm always talking about, I want my thick books. I want my thick books. This is a quick read. It was really good. I hope you guys go pick it up because I want to talk about it. Y'all can pick it up. I'm going to retire. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ooh, I really identify with Briar. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not very often you get the older females that's out there kicking the butt. It's just great. I mean, it's good. You guys need to go read this book so we can talk about it, okay? So that is it. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.